Hi everyone, Pyramid INTELL. This is actually the message that I wanted to produce coming out of the Lionsgate portal, and I'm just going to launch into it. This channeling may look and feel completely different from the ones that I've done up until this time, and I'll give a brief explanation about it. If you want to know more, or a history of how all of this came about, please see my last video. Explains a little bit about what's going on here. Up until this point, I have censored the channelings that I do publicly to a certain degree, sometimes to a large degree, in order to make them more palatable for the unhealed collective. Uncensored, divine energy, free-flowing, is a very strong and forceful presence. And it can be interpreted by someone who's unhealed in a personal way. And they perceive it to be something negative, arrogant, overbearing, or something like that, because they find the energy threatening. So I am being instructed or feeling that the great truth now is to let it flow. It's irrelevant to us at this time. Now, this channeling is collectively, I'm speaking for light rays, light workers collectively, and we are addressing dark ones, or our companions who did not choose to follow the path and integrate, renegade tribal members, you could say, and also any bystanders or anyone in the middle who is just curious about this ascension process and just following along. Anyone may find this helpful. So I'm going to go forward with that. So, for the most part, I'm speaking for collectively the feminine, to collectively a masculine counterpart. And again, before I begin, I just want to say, this is a gross generalization. You can, of course, have lines crossed, and this is not across the board, but for the most part, this is accurate. So, there are those of us who are here on a mission. We came in with a mission. We came here to do a specific job. It is not our first rodeo. We've done this many times. And we are here in all sincerity because the timing right now is crucial. We have the opportunity to make a huge difference in the future of the planet and of humanity and all sentient beings at this time. And there are many people here that take this very seriously. And some people have become so enchanted with this current dimension that they've been playing in for such a long period of time at the expense of others, that they have chosen to remain in place and play. And that's a legitimate choice. No one questions that. What we do question is your belief that you can drag us along behind you, that as if we are in your charge, as if you mean anything in the grand scheme of things, that you are more important in any way than the divine plan. This would be incorrect. as you're finding out. What has happened is that your ego has overshadowed everything that you know to be true, and your interpretation of facts and events and cosmic law is distorted. And this is why things are not working out in your favor. As someone who has made lifetime after lifetime your goal, your absolute mission to work with the energetics on this realm, you're well aware of how it functions, how you function within the laws of the universe. So, have you become so distorted that you no longer see reality for what it actually is? Or is it the attachments that you are associating yourself with? So, we know everything. You wanted to know, what do we know? And I'm telling you, we know everything. We are at least 1 year ahead of you. You are on an extinct timeline. And your failure to move through this current time space is causing the distance to increase. And the likelihood of you ever catching up to be smaller and smaller. The ability to communicate, to connect realities, to find a common meeting ground of perception, is that gap is closing quicker and quicker as we speak. Your distorted ego has led you down an unfortunate path. Your choices on what's important and how you wish to live your life are, of course, yours. They always are. It is a free will environment. But your desire to drag and enslave and dominate and torture other beings is not your right. And it isn't going to happen. And it isn't our job to be your personal Jesus. And we will not. And you have only yourself to blame as you deal with the consequences. You chose this. You chose this. Our job is to complete the mission, not follow blindly behind someone who has decided to go in the opposite direction. We are aligned with our mission and with the divine. You knew that. It's just that your ego became distorted and you thought that you could change the divine plan, which is a very presumptuous and dangerous assumption. Because you realize how we function with sincerity and truth, your distortion caused a misperception about the validity of contracts and how they actually function. You broke the contract. You knew exactly what was going on. You were fully conscious and you consciously made a decision. And that made the contract null and void. There is no contract. Clearly you were not listening to the music of the spheres, the orbital resonance. It has shifted. This was your last chance. Some of us have stayed with an outstretched hand longer than others because we love you. We will always love you, regardless of your behavior. But we will not be your victim, your co-conspirator. You've made your choices, and it's not our choice. And this was the last opportunity, and you knew that. You knew that. So don't reach out to us because we are not interested. We have moved on, and we send you light and love. You need to talk directly to God if you wish to negotiate, because as you probably noticed, you're unable to reach us and haven't been for quite some time. Why? Because we did move on, we left you behind, and we balanced our polarity on our own. We are fully integrated now. Not because we don't want you, not because we don't need you, but out of necessity of abandonment to fulfill our divine mission. We have the ability to do that, and so we did. Contracts have shifted. In your arrogance, you have destroyed yourself and many around you. And this is unfortunate. It's as if the distorted ego has eliminated your ability to perceive anything in this reality, and you're spinning in an ineffectual vortex that is going to be your downfall, and also of your chosen tribe. And despite negative things that are befalling your family, the people that you're choosing to be around, you continue to repeat the same thing over and over, and people are falling. It's well known that you perceive our devotion to Christ consciousness as a weakness. This is an illusion of the lower frequency egocentric structure. Clearly, with where we are sitting now and where you are sitting, it's apparent which path is the path of strength. For those who are just bystanders in this conversation, the feminine collective has been abused and slandered and used and traumatized on every level. We are aware of everything that has been done. We have seen all the moves that you have made, the crimes that have been committed, all of them. We do not need to make grandiose statements. We are not ruled by ego. We do not care what the collective thinks. We know who we are. We know where we're going, and we do not need to interact or respond. It's no longer necessary. We know that where we are going, the veil has already dropped. People are able to perceive truth. Like Generation Z, we will not exert ourselves over meaningless trivia that's irrelevant to our timeline. Those who are unable to perceive the truth are irrelevant. We send love and light always. Miracles happen every day, but we also perceive the light to be getting dimmer and dimmer. There are no attachments here. I'm going to state the obvious because from where we are sitting, we see you spinning in a vortex because of an inability to change. That inability is a self-proclaimed limitation that you have put in place. You have written this program. You have overwritten a divine blueprint of glory and strength, of divine mission and purpose. And that's your choice. But every move that you make, that you continue to make every single day, it's coming back and it's a suicide run. You are a spiritual suicide bomber, and you don't even seem to know that. Nothing is going to penetrate because we are in a different timeline and a different frequency band. So I wanted to clarify because there is used, which may or may not be an excuse. Personally, I think all of your perceptions are so distorted that the question as to why and what and how is probably legitimate at this point. So I hope that answered all of the questions. Why? Because it is written, and these are the laws of the universe. The energetic laws are what you see playing out. Why? Because we have chosen our path and you have chosen yours. How? Because it is a free will environment and we have made our choices. When? Now that's an interesting question because we're not even on the same timelines. So I don't know how to answer your when. It's irrelevant at this point. So it's just a matter of time before the split becomes permanent. We know that you're spiraling in a vortex of self-destruction, and we are going in another direction. There will be no reunion. There is no contract here. So, hope that answers your questions. And we wish you love and light, always. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this Pyramid Intel. Thank you.